Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming pattern that's going to take place around Christmas that might lead to a white Christmas for many regions and also a very frigid Christmas for a very widespread area. Now, before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. And I'd also highly recommend that you check out our very exciting store and then also our very awesome Patreon page, where we actually just made a post about that upcoming potential white Christmas. We uploaded some snowfall maps, some awesome content there that you can check out as far as what kind of snowfall you could expect to occur on Christmas Day. So if you're interested in that, it's cheaper than the price of a coffee, and you can check that out in the description and the pinned comment down below. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you think we will have a white Christmas anywhere? Let me know where, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now let's get right into this video, and first things first, we're taking a look at the temperature pattern as of last night. And as you can see, yesterday was pretty cold in the east and pretty warm in the central and western United States. It was near normal for a lot of regions in the east as well, like Virginia and North Carolina there. You can see maybe 1 degree above or below average there, so very close to normal. Then by the time we reach this afternoon, you can see that there is some cold air that makes its way down to the southwest, so that's a little bit more of a neutral PNA is what we would call it, and that kind of encourages some warmer air to make its way towards the east. So we're going to see that slowly but surely happen, but for now, the East Coast in general is going to be below average temperatures, as you can see throughout the day today. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move towards tomorrow, and we're just going to move all the way to Christmas in the same exact fashion. So we're going to take a look at the temperature pattern as far as the temperature anomalies go. We're also going to take a look at some of those snowfall potential events, things of that nature, all coming up. Now here we are by about Saturday, December 19th, which is tomorrow from the time I'm making this video. Like I said, as you can see, there is some colder air in the southwest. There is some warmer air up there for a lot of the north central, northwestern, and a lot of the Ohio Valley there. The East Coast is still below average temperatures by time we're reaching the afternoon hours of Saturday. All right, now as we reach Sunday, you can see that that warm air, like I said, does eventually make its way east. We have some below normal temperatures there for the southeast potentially, but it's going to be very close to normal. And I overall think we're going to be trending towards a warm up before Christmas, and then obviously Christmas and then after Christmas is a very different story, and we'll be talking about that a little later on. Very different story. So let's just go ahead and move it towards about the 21st. And this is when that storm system is going to be moving through that I called potentially my first snowstorm of the upcoming 2. That was yesterday's video. There's not a lot of super cold air. So I think generally some snow showers is possible for New England, especially the mountainous regions. With these above average temperatures in place, it's going to have to be some areas that average being very cold for you to see snowfall. There's not a lot of those dynamics available for a large snowstorm, so I think that one around the 20th, if anything, will be some widespread snow showers with maybe a few inches of snow. By no means a major snowstorm or anything like that, so that 20th one should not be a big deal at all. The Christmas one, however, is a very different story. We'll be talking about that later, and also our Patreon post, like I said, talks about that. What we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to move all the way to Christmas Eve, where we're going to begin to see that cool down take place and the pattern really switch up. Alright, now here we are on the night of the 23rd at about 7 p.m. heading towards Christmas Eve, and as you can see, we have a massive warm-up actually for the East Coast that really moves in just before that huge trough moves in, so it's going to be an extreme flip of the temperatures there. We do have that very cold air moving into the central United States, as you can see, all heading in from Canada. This will likely be the most potent cool down we've had so far this winter, and probably will go down as one of the more potent ones. It's a very cold look. We will see that in a minute. Also, the Rockies are very cold by this point. So let's just take it to about the afternoon hour of Christmas Eve. And as you can see, that very potent cool down moves further east and further south in general, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. But the East Coast is very warm, so you can see the two extremes there. Very extreme. And actually, I'm going to be watching for some severe weather, I think, for the Gulf states. You know, the more I think about it, there likely will be a good setup for some severe weather on Christmas Eve here. We'll have to watch that closely, but usually when you see that different of temperatures and you also see a frontal boundary moving through, that's a good sign that you could have some severe weather, so we will be watching for that. Regardless, we do have that very big cool down moving in. We have the very huge warm up out ahead of it, and there will be snow as we move into the 25th in just a moment. This is very potent cold air, actually. What we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to move on towards about 1 a.m. on Christmas Day. So just as it's crossing into Christmas Day, most kids will probably not even be asleep yet if they're anything like I was as a kid. And we're going to take a look at what that snowstorm could look like that night as well. And then we're finally going to move a little bit beyond Christmas Day, actually. We're going to take a look at the teleconnections at the very end of this video. All sorts of exciting things coming up. Alright, so by the time we're at about 1 a.m. on Friday, December 25th, Christmas Day, it's very far above normal temperatures for New England and the Mid-Atlantic. Again, just very extreme, the differences between the cold and the warm there. But this cool down is very potent. Those green areas are about 10 to 15 degrees below average Fahrenheit. And then those blues within the green that kind of turn into a red color, that's where we're 15 degrees below normal or even further below normal. So very, very potent cold air. But just as extreme as that is, we have 30 degrees above average for New England. So again, just very extreme differences. That's a 60-degree difference between the 30 below normal and 30 above normal. Very, very huge difference there. Let's take a look at what the simulated radar would look like by that point. And here is that potential snowstorm that would cause a white Christmas. And really at this point, we're so far out, I want to mention that this could be a lot further east. I do see the potential if this hits a little bit later, which is always a possibility. Like, let's say there's two low pressure systems. You can see one there for New York and then one offshore of North Carolina there. If that North Carolina low pressure center actually ends up being the dominant one, we would have a massive snowstorm basically up and down the East Coast on Christmas Day, which would just be super extreme, obviously. And if it hits a little bit later, which the timing can change like that when we're about 7 days out. So we're really going to watch this one closely. This could really evolve into something way different than it looks right now. As it looks right now, this would actually be quite a major snowstorm for West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York. But things are certainly bound to change. Whether it's more extreme or less extreme, things are bound to certainly change with this type of an event when we're this far out. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to move on towards Christmas Day, so like the afternoon hour. We're going to take a look at the temperature anomalies then. We're going to take a look at the actual temperatures, and then we're going to move towards that night and also take a look at the actual temperatures, and then we're going to move a little bit beyond Christmas, take a look at how December's going to close out, and then we're going to close out the video. Alright, now here we are on the afternoon hour of Christmas Day, and as you can see, we're looking to have some very, very potent cold air move in on Christmas Day for the eastern United States. It's going to be a very wintry Christmas, except for New England there, which it looks a little bit above normal temperatures actually. But generally for the southeast and many surrounding regions, it looks far below normal. Again, those blues are anywhere from 15 to 30 degrees below average there, and those kind of purplish blues inside the green. The ones outside of the green are about 1 to 10 degrees below average. Let's take a look at those actual temperatures for the high temperatures on Christmas Day. And the crazy thing here is that I want to point out is Orlando, Florida is colder than the very northern tip of Maine, believe it or not. So according to this model, of course, that would be very extreme. Generally, you can see that a lot of the Mid-Atlantic, the coastal Mid-Atlantic, is in the mid-30s. So again, if that snowstorm was to hit a little bit later, like on Christmas Day, many regions would be seeing snowfall because there's sufficient cold for that to occur. Within the reds, that's where we're generally in the 20s as high temperatures. So very, very potent cold air, even some single digits up there for the upper Midwest and the portions of the Great Lakes as well. Very, very potent cold air. Let's move towards the low temperatures that night. And as you can see, still obviously very far below normal temperatures for pretty much the entirety of the eastern half of the United States. Let's take a look at those actual temperatures again. And pretty much, at least by this point, northern Maine is colder than Florida, so we have that going for them. Still the very eastern half, though, is still a little bit warmer than Florida, I think. That would actually be quite extreme. I'm paying attention now. That's lows around 33 in Florida. So yeah, this is a very potent cool down. Widespread 20s even for the southeast. So if this was to occur like this European model thinks, very, very potent, very widespread 20s, even single digits there for Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio, New York. So yeah, very, very potent cool down. Let's take a look at what that temperature pattern would look like on the 26th. And still, the cold air is going to be around, it appears, according to this model. Let's take it to the 29th, and this is going to be according to our GFS, because the European model doesn't even go out this far. And still, looking at the very potent cold air around. So it looks like from Christmas towards the end of December, it's going to be pretty much just pretty frigid for the eastern United States to close out the month. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, out of the 2 upcoming snowstorm signals, again, there's one near the 20th and then one for Christmas, I asked you guys which one do you think has a better chance of happening and which one looks pretty much just snowier in general. And Cloudwatcher said, I think the second threat looks better because it seems to be colder and wetter with the second one. And I have to agree, I think that Christmas one is looking a lot better by this point. Anyway, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons: Sebastian Tao, John Benbenick, Justin Quantrill, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Alan Belemo, Adam S., Larry LePan, Donna Carnes, Cameron Marshall, and Aiden Mattis, alongside our diamond patrons: Bill Roberts, Alan Sherry, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalessa, Michael Buell, Terry Curtis, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Kellen Manhor, It's Jay, Cindy Klein, Alicia Davis, and Mark J. I really appreciate all of you for supporting the channel. It really means the world to me. If you would like to support the channel or end up on this patron end screen, you can do so by joining our very exciting Patreon page in the description and the pinned comment down below. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.